Good morning, everyone, from Southeast Colorado. Graham's here, Steven's here, and Carson's back, and we are getting ready to take off into the grasslands for a long day of looking for one of the most elusive snakes in Colorado, the speckled king snake. Couldn't be much better weather for it, so I'm excited to get out in the field and see what we can scrape up today. So we're gonna get after it. I'm gonna run the GoPro for a few hours, and hopefully we'll find some good stuff. All right, guys, Graham flipped our first herp of the day, a little 6-line race runner, and this thing is neon green. Look at that, that's incredible. Hopefully we can see one of these cleaned up and out running around when they're looking their best. But that is awesome, really great looking lizard to start the day. Steven's here with a really cool toad. This is a species we don't get to see very often, the Woodhouse's toad. These guys pretty much live in the Great Plains, but they are becoming extirpated in a lot of areas where they used to be common, like West Texas. So really mysterious toad that we don't really know what's going on with exactly, but really interesting species I don't get to see a lot. So I'm gonna get some quick photos of this guy and we'll put him back. All right, guys, Carson just flipped our first snake of the day. Nice little Tantilla. This is the Plains black-headed snake, Tantilla nigriceps. We saw these guys up in the mountains the other day, and they were drastically different looking, a lot redder. And the ones out here are pretty typical looking tan ones. But either way, always a nice snake to flip, and it's a good sign that the snakes are up. So we're gonna keep hitting it pretty hard and see what else we can get. All right, guys, so as you saw on the GoPro footage, I just hiked this beautiful big bull snake halfway down a rodent burrow, which is really cool because that's how we find pine snakes a lot when we're on foot. Not a lot because we never find pine snakes, but some of the few ones I've seen on foot have been halfway down holes like that. But either way, really awesome to see one of these guys in Colorado. This is my first one from the state. Hopefully we'll get to see one that's not so muddy at some point, but either way, really great looking snake. This is a big female, so we're gonna photograph her and put her back. What a big, impressive snake. That's awesome. Definitely makes the day for me if we don't see anything else. But I'm gonna let him go back down his hole he was heading down when I first spotted him, and we're gonna keep flipping. Well, there it is. The holy grail of Colorado herping, as per every Colorado herper, the speckled king snake. The first snake I've ever flipped under a rock in southeast Colorado. That is incredible. And it's beautiful too. It's a baby, it's got baby king snake syndrome, but it's still really awesome looking. We could have found a much worse looking snake if we're gonna get a baby. I mean, this thing is amazing. His head is just absolutely beautiful. Beautiful yellow coloration, speckling in and out. Just awesome. What a perfect little snake. How you feeling, Graham?
Feeling alive, man.
All right, guys. Well, there it is. The flip clip's gonna speak for itself, hopefully, but we are over the moon to have found this snake today. Definitely one of the biggest targets for the trip and the holy grail of Colorado herping as far as most people are concerned. So, really amazing. But anyways, we're gonna let this guy go and see if we can maybe get another one. It feels prime out here today, and we're in a really good spot, and now that we know they're here, we're gonna try as hard as we can to get an adult. All right, guys, let's put this guy back where we found him. Well, Carson just flipped this beautiful adult coach whip. These guys can be nice and red here like in West Texas, not quite to the same extent, but this one's a beautiful golden tan one. Really awesome looking snake. I love me a good coach whip, everyone. That's awesome. We're gonna get a couple quick photos of this guy and put him back under his rock. He's nice and lethargic because of how cool it is outside today, but absolutely beautiful. Look at the eyes on this guy. That's an amazing looking snake. All right, let's put this beautiful snake back under his rock. All right, guys, just flipped this nice Great Plains skink who's trying to bite me. These are one of the largest lizards we have here in the U.S. They can get 2 to 3 times bigger than this guy. This is a relatively small one. I'd even go as far as to say subadult. But yeah, these are titanic skinks. They get as big, if not bigger, than the broadhead skinks back home. And they're a really cool find when I'm out in the Great Plains. But anyways, I'm gonna get a couple quick shots of this guy and put him back under his rock. Really cool Great Plains skink.
What is happening?
So yeah, I don't really know how much I buy it, but apparently this is the rarest snake in Colorado, as per Graham and the opinions of people who have informed Graham. But I mean, they're blind snakes. You flip rocks after it rains and they're there if you're in their habitat. So really cool though, either way. We are at the very edge of this species range, And blind snakes are super unique and super cool anywhere, and especially in an area like this where they're so sparse and on the fringe of their habitat. So really cool. Great way to kind of cap off the day if it wasn't good enough already. That's amazing. All right, guys, well, we're gonna put this little blind snake back under his rock. Hopefully we'll see another one today, but apparently they're, like I said earlier, not very common here. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up, but really cool. Love seeing these guys. So we went and reflipped the other one just so you can see that there actually are 3 of them, because there's no way to tell them apart because they're almost identical. But yeah, 3 Colorado blind snakes. All right, guys, well, there's 3 blind snakes. I've said about all I can about these guys. Supposedly a pretty good find here in Colorado, so we're gonna put them back under their respective rocks. So here's the blind snakes, and Carson walks over here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! He was coming out, so.
All right, this guy was coming out from under a rock to forage for the day, so we're just gonna put him down, and well, he's gonna go under that rock now, but. All right, guys, Steven just caught coach whip number 3 for the day. Just barely passed the last one. Very cool.
Yes.
All right, guys, coach whip number 3. We're gonna let him go. All right, guys, Graham just flipped another Great Plains skink. This one's a little bit nicer and bigger than the first. He's got some really cool platinum coloration on him, but beautiful skinks. Love seeing them. So obviously that was ridiculous. Me and Carson flipped those 2, and then Steven spotted one that was basking down there that we didn't even see. And one of those is really red, like almost Texas red. Really awesome. This is insane. I mean, coach whips are common, but I mean, they're a good find down here, right? Like a day with a coach whip is a pretty good day.
I mean, they're about the same as they are everywhere else, really. So they're a good find, but...
They're a good find because they're cool, but they're a very common snake. So, really awesome. All right, guys, coach whip release. Where you going, big guy?
He's checking out Carson.
Dude, that is so awesome.
They're so smart.
He's trying to figure out where his hole is that he can get to without... He was the one that was down there, too. The other 2 that were under the rock actually went down where he was. All right, guys, I just shined a Great Plains rat snake in this crack. It's a really bad look at him, but these are a good find here, too, so I figured I'd try to show him. But that's the best look we're going to get unless he can come out of this crack. All right, guys, well, there's a Great Plains rat snake that's not in a crack, and he's really cool looking. That's awesome. He's got a nice zigzag pattern, and he's good size, too. All right, guys, here is Graham holding this nice Emery's rat snake, or Great Plains rat snake that we just flipped. We saw one in a crevice earlier, but it was too far back to get out, and luckily for us, we flipped this guy. We also saw another big shed from one of these guys, so probably a pretty common species at this spot, even though this is another good find here in southeast Colorado. Really cool. Let's put this beautiful snake back under his rock. All right, buddy.
See you later, snake.
All right, guys, so underneath this rock, my GoPro's dead, by the way. Coach whip and another coach whip, 2 big ones. What's up, dude?
That was tight.
What is this, 8 and 9?
8 and 9.
Coach whip's 8 and 9. All right, dudes, there's your rock. Awesome. Well, guys, yesterday was incredible, but it's looking like it's going to be a little bit hotter out today. There's not a cloud in the sky, and it's supposed to get up to around 90 degrees. So we're going to do mostly road cruising today, I think, and we might stop at some creeks and walk around for turtles and water snakes and stuff like that. So good morning, everyone. It is probably going to be the beginning of the last video for my Colorado trip. Tomorrow is my last full day. And today we're still down in southeast Colorado. We're going to do some road cruising this morning. It's going to get really hot, so it's going to be mostly a cruising day. But we're going to start off by cruising this morning, and then we're going to chill when it gets hot, and then we're going to cruise again in the afternoon. So big target today is either a Massasauga or a Plains Hognose snake, both of which are pretty common in this area, but they're both good finds. So we're going to hit these roads hard this morning and then again this afternoon and see what all we can turn up. There's our first snake of the day, a bull snake on the road who's going very fast away from the road. What's up, dude? Dude, he's beautiful.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Well, we're on the board for the day. Kind of started yesterday with a bull snake too. He's hissing at us a little bit, but really great looking bull snake to start the day. We're out here just cruising these roads through nowhere in the grasslands in southeast Colorado, and it's our first snake of the day. Hopefully we'll see some more.
Yes.
Well,
How do you feel right now, Steven?
I'm stoked.
we just road cruised the Hognose, and now he's in a ball, but hopefully he'll come out of that here soon.
Yes.
That is awesome. So this snake was covered in blood when we found it, which makes us think that a predator, like a bird or something, had been messing with him, and our further messing with him has caused him to bleed even more. But this is just a defense mechanism hognoses have. Not all of them do it, but occasionally they will, like this guy. They'll just bleed everywhere, and usually that comes out of their mouth or their butt. But look at that black belly. That is amazing. This is only my second ever plains hognose snake. All right, we cleaned some of that blood off, and it seems like he's chilling out a little bit, but he's looking good now. That is a beautiful snake. Only my second ever true plains hognose. Seen lots of Mexican hognose, but those were recently elevated, and they look quite a bit different, so really awesome. So we've been cruising all morning. It's about 11 a.m. now in this just absolutely barren grassland habitat. We saw the bull snake earlier, and then about 5 minutes ago we saw a prairie rattlesnake in a rock pile that got away before we could get any pictures of it. And then we cruised up on this guy. Only my second ever plains hognose snake, and it's a pretty big one too. Alrighty, well that is our main target for the morning, the western hognose snake. It'd be nice to see a Massasauga, but they're a little bit more uncommon here. So we're gonna let this guy go on the direction he was heading and see if we can cruise anything else. What an awesome snake. All right, let's let him go and keep cruising. Go on. All right, guys, it's the heat of the day right now. We just grabbed lunch and we're currently heading to check this thing Graham calls the death trap. It's apparently some hole that little snakes can fall into, and we're gonna go see if there's anybody in there. And if not, we're gonna poke around this hillside. But it's really hot right now, so we might not see much, but just killing time, waiting for road cruising time this afternoon. I don't see anybody.
The first time I came here, there was a line snake around that, and then there was a line snake just.
What are the balls, dude?
Snakes everywhere.
Nobody alive in the death trap today, but there's a bunch of skeletons and stuff in there, so we're gonna close it back up. All right, guys, well, under that rock, Graham just flipped a beautiful little ground snake. This is a awesome color morph that I've never seen before. So we came over here to try to turn one up, and sure enough, the moisture is good enough that even in the heat of the day, we were able to flip a couple snakes over here, so really cool. All right, guys, well, this is a really great looking little ground snake. We're gonna see a couple more of these here. They're super variable. One of the common names for them is a variable ground snake. We've seen a lot in my videos before, but never one quite this nice looking. So either way, really awesome. We're gonna flip a couple more rocks though and see if we can turn up another one. So we came down to the river to swim, and Graham flipped a ringneck, which is apparently a big deal here. So I mean, I'm not really sure what's going on here in Colorado where all these common snakes are big deals, but this guy's doing a real cool threat display. Normally you have to kind of put them on their backs, but this guy's actually flipping over when I go to touch him. Look at that. To flash those belly colors, really awesome. We just cruised a coach whip, and Graham, well, he got out of the car and ran up there, but by that time it was already in the next county that direction. Yeah, it's hot outside though. So we just midday 10 flipped a lion snake, and there's a great plain skink here. Graham's gonna get out. He's down in the earth. Nice. Oh, he's beautiful. I want photos of that one if we can. So, ow, that hurts. Lion snake's being really defensive. Ow! Ah, he's got me in a bad spot, dude. These guys hurt. There we go.
For one reason or another, this man is being all defensive with us.
See a little, he was doing a twitch.
Yeah, he was doing the head twitch thing.
Look at that.
Cool belly on
It's awesome. Love lion snakes. All Alright guys, here's another look at this Great Plains skink. We saw a couple of these yesterday, but they're just such unique lizards and they're absolutely beautiful, especially this kind of platinum variation you get up here in the northern Great Plains. The ones in Texas hardly ever look like this that I've seen. But either way, really awesome lizards. We're going to get some photos of these guys and put him back under his rock. Well, we just lost a horned lizard. It's starting to cool off this afternoon and we're out here cruising in the grasslands again. Big hope is for a Massasauga, and then once it gets dark, we're going to try for king snakes again. But, I mean, it feels really good out here. There should be snakes on the road this afternoon, so we're going to get after it, and I will update you guys as we find stuff. I thought it was a king, dude, because it has speckles. Oop. Oh, look at that.
Big boy stuff.
Got him. Woo, hello. Dude, he's beautiful.
Yeah,
look at that.
That's a cool looking racer, dude.
First snake of the afternoon. That's awesome. Well, guys, that is a really awesome racer. Really unusual looking. I've never seen anything quite like it. It looks like a Mexican racer almost, the ones we get down in South Texas. Dude, that's awesome. Look at him. All right, well, we're gonna move this guy off the road and see what else is out. We've been waiting patiently for it to start cooling off this afternoon so we can keep finding snakes, and looks like that time is here, so we're gonna let this guy go and see what else is out. Also, side note, they don't call them yellow-bellied racers for nothing. Look at that. Perfect banana colored belly on this guy. Really awesome. All right, we're gonna move him out of the road and keep moving. All right, guys, here's our first snake after dark. It is an absolutely titanic Emery's rat snake. This thing's at least 4 feet long, which, I mean, is probably a fairly common size attained by these snakes, but you don't get to see them this big very often. So, really impressive. Either way, it's gonna cool off fast here tonight, so we're gonna try to maximize cruising time and minimize snake messing time in hopes of getting another king snake. So, we're just gonna move this guy off the road and then we'll keep moving. But I'll pick him up and let you guys see his size real quick.
Well, that thing is dope. That is the biggest one I've ever seen.
But this is a real good find for this area, especially a snake of that size. So we're gonna release it after a few quick photos, and then we're gonna keep on moving.
So here is our second plains garter snake of the night. It's twice the size of the first one. This thing is gigantic and beautiful too. What an awesome looking snake. That's amazing. All right, guys, so here's another look at my second plains garter snake. The first one was a little bit duller than this, so I didn't get too much footage of it, but this is my second. This is a really cool species. They get huge too compared to the ones we see back home. I mean, this thing's every bit of 2.5, 3 feet, which for a garter snake is a pretty good size, but these guys are characterized by this awesome orange stripe down their back. But other than that, they just kind of look like a checkered garter and an eastern garter combined. Really cool looking snakes, and this was one of the bigger targets for my trip out here because I'd missed them in other states before. So either way, really cool looking species. Graham says they're pretty common here, so we'll probably see a few more tonight. All right, guys, we just cruised a nice big bull snake. He is definitely not as attractive as the ones we saw earlier today. Either way, we weren't really expecting a big bull snake this late at night, but that's pretty cool. Here is another big radix, dude. These things are huge. Look at that compared to Carson's feet. I mean, it's like 2.5 feet long. Look at that. It's huge.
Oh my
gosh!
Dude.
Yo!
Oh my God. That's a big deal.
Yo!
Oh my God.
That's a king snake is.
So according to Graham, a milksnake here is as big, if not bigger of a deal than a king snake. In this region of Colorado, at least. I'm shaking. That is amazing. Well, guys, that is a Southeast Colorado milksnake. One of the rarer snakes to find down here, apparently. Even though these guys can be fairly common in a lot of Colorado and even extremely common in some areas, this is not one of them, according to the people who herp here more than I do. So, really great way to highlight the night if we don't see anything else. Always a snake I'm happy to see, especially in new places. So the cruising's still hot though. We've been seeing tons of snakes, so we're just gonna photograph this guy and keep moving and see what else turns up. Look at the white on this snake. That is amazing. Really great way to end the night if we don't see anything else. That's awesome. What a great looking snake.
Those dogs are not crazy about us, but we do have a Viridis here today.
There is our next snake of the night. This is the second prairie rattlesnake of the trip, and the first one we get a good look at. The first one actually disappeared into a rock pile, so really cool to get to see one of these guys up close. These are an iconic animal of the prairies in Colorado. But yep, we see these guys a lot in West Texas, so we've seen them in my videos before. Fairly common throughout a lot of their range, but really awesome looking rattlesnakes. Glad we got to see one tonight. Anyways, we're gonna get some quick photos and move him off the road. Yeah, he's got no rattle. Look at that. Either way, really cool. All right, guys, next snake of the night is a gigantic lion snake. Look at this thing. It's the biggest lion snake I've ever seen. Look at that. Oh, he's gonna do cool things too. Look at him. That's awesome. Never mind, here's another one. This one might be the biggest one yet. Why are the garter snakes here so big?
Another 100 feet up the road, and there's another plains garter snake.
Alright guys, well I guess that's a wrap on Colorado. We spent our last day of the trip mostly getting our things together and dealing with Steven's broken down car, which became a very sudden issue late in the trip, unfortunately. But hopefully that'll get taken care of. Steven's here a few more days, but I am going to be dropped off at the airport here in a few minutes and head back to Georgia for the rest of the month. So, Graham, thanks for having me. Graham's right there, it's dark, and looking forward to seeing you next time. I'd love to come back to Colorado. It was an absolute blast. So, Colorado viewers, if you want more Colorado content, I'm sure it will be coming eventually. And check out Graham's channel too, because obviously he lives here. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.